Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome. Brooksy's Bass Corner live chat 113 tonight. I need to make an announcement before we go any further. So my partner's out tonight at a show at the Albert Hall. I've got the dogs. The windows are open. It's exceptionally warm here. They're going to kick off every time they hear like a leaf fly across the driveway. So you're going to get dogs shouting. They're perfectly all right. They're perfectly okay. They've got water. The TV's on. They've got their beds. They have access to me. They can go out if they need to. They're just going to shout a lot, okay? So I'm going to prepare you for it at the very start. So you think, God, there's an axe murderer in your house. I haven't. Just one of the dogs will just shout at the merest hint that someone could be within 5 miles of our house. So I'm just forewarning you. If you hear them barking, I apologise from the outset, but they're perfectly all right. They're perfectly safe. There's no harm coming to them. They're just shouting because they've heard someone walk down the road about 500 metres away. Okay? Right. Got that out of the way. Good evening. Hope you're all safe and well. Hope your bass playing's going great. Vissel, good to see you. Hope you're well. Yes, live chat 113. Let me think. When did I last see you? Tuesday. So, oh God, all sorts of things going on at the tail end of last week. Got a new gig vlog up, gig vlog 7. Let me just put that on there for those who haven't seen it. It was Uncle Funk playing at the Drill Hall in Ware. Let me just get a link there and I'll stick it in there for those who haven't seen that. That's there. There's a bunch of associated short videos going with that as well. So that went up on Friday. Saturday was a funny old day. So knew I had to get out the door relatively early. Had a Queen tribute gig in a place called Norton Lindsay up in Warwickshire. Had my eye on a bass that was at Bass Direct up in Leamington Spa. Didn't think I was going to make it before the shop shut. And as I turned up, said to the guy, lovely Marcus, if you're watching, Marcus, are you in a rush? And he went, no. I said, but you shut at 2. He said, no, it's fine. Come on in. So I picked up a new bass. So those of you who've seen the community tab, you know I posted it up on Saturday. So I picked up this rather fine Fender Jazz Bass Plus from 1990. Silver sparkle, apparently. Silver burst. But in actual reality, when you're stood here in front of it, when you see pictures, it looks black with like a white outline. When you're stood next to it, that white outline is actually kind of like a yellow. It's like an olive green yellow. And actually what seems to be black looks more like olive green. But there we are. Fitted with Philip Kubicki electronics. You've probably seen these. They're 35 years old. I remember when these came out, they were quite the rage. I've seen many players use them over the years. So it's got a volume, pickup pan, bass boost, treble boost, and then a 4-way Kubicki selector switch, which on this bass gives you a standby, 2 actives and a passive. So yeah, so this came my way. So that was fine. Tried it out, loved it. Thought, yeah, I'm buying that. Predominantly, not because I need another bass, but to film videos for you fine people out there in YouTube land. There aren't that many videos of this. And I did a bit of research beforehand. And I thought, do you know what? I could do a better video than the ones that are up there. So anyway, there'll be demos and review videos of this very, very soon. I've actually earmarked Thursday this week for some filming, for some demos and reviews. And I get in the car, I go off to my gig. I'm filming it for a gig vlog 16. And we're setting up, and the very nice gentleman who's organising it all comes up to me after about an hour and he goes, where'd you buy your basses? I said, lots of different places. He said, have you ever been to Bass Direct? And I chuckled. I said, yeah, I was there about an hour ago. I said, I've just bought a bass from there. Have you? Yes. Well, my friend is Mark, the guy that owns it. I said, well, he wasn't in the shop. obviously having a Saturday off. And I said, funnily enough, he's never seen me play other than in his store doing bass reviews for the magazine. He's never seen me on a gig. In his mind, I could be bluffing all these years that he's known me. And I've known Mark since 2007. I said, shh, we'll keep it a secret. You don't tell him I'm here. I'm going to put the bass I've just bought on the stand, and let's see if he notices that he's got one of those in his shop. Well, he did have until about an hour ago. Now I've got it. And, but don't tell him I'm here. Don't tell him it's me, or just play dumb on it. So anyway, Mark came in, didn't twig the bass was on the stand. And then someone or somehow he found out I was there and came to say hello, and then saw me walk up on the stage. Actually, I've got that round the wrong way. He came in at the halftime break. That's right. So I walk up on stage. He still didn't twig it was me. And then when I turned round and I'm playing, like, oh my God. Then he clocked the bass on the stand. So that was fine. Then he came to say hello in the break, and then he was basically stood in front of me most of the gig for the second set, having a blast, enjoying himself. And then we had a right old natter at the end. So that was Saturday. And then since then, it's been, the weather's been pretty good. It's been getting stuff done outside, keeping the YouTube channel ticking over, getting some shorts up, planning out, because I've started seriously tidying the office here, trying to get it set up the way I want so I can start filming ad hoc rather than always having to deal with a bit of a mess. So much stuff in here, trying to juggle it all, trying to organize it all into stacking drawers and what have you. So I want to make it as empty as possible. my partner's watching, she's going, you've got no hope. But so that I can literally stick a camera on, start recording, get the videos up a lot quicker. It's kind of what's been hampering me for about 5 or 6 months, is that there's so much stuff in here, trying to get it all organized, and it just creates a mess that I then have to completely empty the office in order to have floor space to set up tripod, lights, microphones, basses, cameras, all that sort of thing. So now, hopefully, fingers crossed, by Thursday, it'll all be good. So I'll be able to just film away on Thursday, perhaps get some demos and reviews up before the end of the week. Richard Fitton-Perkins, good to see you. Good to see you. Let me just start doing this. And then Vissel commenting on the bass. There's Rich and there's Mr. Stickley. There we are. There we are. So for those who don't know, Mark is the proprietor and owner of Bass Direct here in the UK. He's never been here on one of our live chats. Thank you very much for attending, sir. Enjoy. We're going to be here for 2 hours. We're doing 2 hours tonight, gang, because I've got to get to bed by 10:15. I've got to take my mum to hospital tomorrow, and she got the early appointment. So come in, Mark. Enjoy. We're a very friendly bunch. Feel free to contribute as you wish. If you get bored stiff, no problem. I understand. You're going to see loads of your customers on here. So enjoy. Come on in. Richard, what did I buy from Mark at Bass Direct? As I just showed, but I'll get it again. No problem. I got this very, very fine Fender Jazz Bass Plus. So these came out in 1990. They were around for a while. They came in a variety of finishes: natural, three-tone sunburst. There was a blue burst. This is the very fetching black burst. Condition is pretty good for a 35-year-old bass. Couple of little dings, but nothing too major. Electronics are good. Hardware's all good. Neck was great. And I gave it a good check over. It's got the old micro tilt option on the back. Many of you seasoned players will know what that does. Basically, there's a little screw in there that if you have a bass where the truss rod is accessed from the nut end, by the time you get to about the 15th, 17th, 19th fret, here we go, the barking started. By the time you get to 15th, 17th, 19th, what the truss rod is doing starts to decrease because it doesn't run the full length of the neck. So that micro tilt screw in there basically pushes up, and it will just raise the neck slightly out the pocket. It only needs minor adjustments. It's not the sort of thing you crank all the way. Otherwise you end up with a end of a neck that goes like that, which is not what you want. Excuse me, I'm doing a live chat. Button it. Thank you. And so that was a thing that came out in the 70s when Fender went to 3 screw plates on the back of the jazz necks. And then that was something that Leo Fender took with him to Music Man, and they had that on some of the early Stingrays, I think. I could be wrong. But it's a sort of thing that occasionally popped up through the 80s and 90s with Fender. So they stuck it on this model, and it's very fine. I'm looking forward to getting it out on some gigs, but there will be demo and review videos very shortly, and I'll do some shorts with it. But the electronics are fab, and anyone that knows me, knows the channel, knows I'm a big fan of Kubicki stuff. So it was a no-brainer. And actually, I'd had one of those on my list for about 3-4 years. The gallery had one, but someone had kind of butchered it, and they stuck EMGs in it instead of the lace sensor, and they mucked about with the electronics. And so it was like, I'm not buying it unless it's the real deal that it's meant to be. And I wouldn't be surprised if someone took the Kubicki circuit out and put it in another bass, as idiots sometimes do with things like that. Much like the JD I had, where the guy I bought that from had built his own bass, took the JD circuit out, put it in his bass, and then put some little home created nonsense in, sold me the JD, and I'm thinking, this doesn't sound like a JD. And not surprisingly, the circuitry had gone. Bill Derbyshire, good to see you. Ivor Ferris, good to see you too. Richard saying hello to Mark. I remember the Jazz Plus. Was that before or after the original Active Elites? After. So the Elites came around in around 83, 84, 85, 86. There's a very nice one at Andy Baxter's at the moment up in Leeds, which is a red and gold burst. I looked at that very, what's the word? Intriguingly before I bought the Jazz Bass Plus, because the day after my 16th birthday, when I went to Rock Bottom in Croydon to buy my first bass amplifier combo, they had one of those Precision Elites there, twin pickup, red and gold. And at that time, I think that was about 850 quid, 900 quid. Second hand, it wasn't brand new. And I didn't buy it. I didn't know what it was. I had no clue. I didn't know the provenance of those basses. And here we are nearly 40 years later, and they've got one at Andy's up in Leeds, but it's 2,150 quid. And about 10 years ago, you could get a Precision Elite, whether a 1 or a 2, for about 1,100. So it shows you how prices have gone up. So if you're looking for one of those, he's got one. But I'm after a red one. If anyone ever and stumbles across one, if you see candy apple red, white plate, gold hardware, the big white pickup, very John Deacon, I'm looking for one. I've seen gold, green, I've seen black one. I think I've seen a white one. Haven't seen a red one in the wild for ages, and I think people are storing them up. I think there might be people in America and Japan holding on to them. But if anyone sees one, I'm after one. I had a word with Dave Swift. He said, I've never seen a red one. And he's got most of the colours for those Precision Elites. Here we go. Like I say, a leaf flies across the drive. You'd think World War III had started. Deary me. Right. Mr. Copping, good to see you. Who let the dogs out? Quite. Partner's out tonight, so I'm left attending them. And they were all nicely settled down as we approached kick-off tonight. And then they have kicked off royally about 30 seconds before we went live. Hope you're well. Hope gigs are going good. Richard, yes, you can see the hole for the micro tilt system. It's a very handy thing. My Marcus Jazz has got one. And I've got a couple of other basses that have got it. You've got to use it sensibly. I've seen basses with it, and like in secondhand shops, and people in the stores don't know what they're doing, and they'll crank that screw, and you can see the neck literally is straight, and then tips up at the end. It's like, just undo the screw, set the bass up, adjust the truss rod, and that just gives you a little bit of extra. If you need, if it's sort of dipping away at the end of the fingerboard, you just kick that in, and it just reduces the gap between the strings. And it also, if it's overdone, then you can release a little bit, and you may find it cures dead notes at the end of the neck, in the dusty end, of course. Richard, what's that? Precision Elites, not for me. I'll stick with Status. I tend to like my Fenders passive. No, the Precision Elites were passive. There's no active. You're thinking of the Precision Specials, which came out in the early 80s. Precision Elites had, in fact, let me just check so I'm not talking a load of nonsense. I'm sure they're passive. Okay. Right, the two, you're right, could be active. I think you're right. Split volume pickup, blend control, tone control, active, passive, mini toggle switch. Okay, that's the twin pickup one. I think the single pickup one. Let's see if I put in Elite 1. I think yes, the Elite ones are passive. Here we go. Yeah, so there's like one here I'm looking at. Black and white pickup, gold hardware, heavy bridge. Just volume and tone. That's what John Deacon had. He had a red one, maple neck, red body, white scratch plate. Wasn't a pearloid plate, but I'd love a pearloid plate on it if I can get hold of one. So yeah, prices used to be like, here we go. One went on reverb. So when was that? Let's have a little look, shall we? When did that finish, or is that still active? Okay, it's not showing. So there seems to be some had chrome hardware, some had gold hardware. Why did that list that up as 1100? So I'm looking, I've basically done a search in Google, and it's thrown up one that was on reverb for 1,145. It looks like it's sold. That's on the sort of carpet backing, and then you can't see. Oh no, it's still there, I think. Well, that's an estimated price range. So it's saying they've dropped in price. Okay. One sold on the 5th of May this year. Very good condition, £872. Someone got a bargain then, because the one at Andy Baxter's is 2,150. Oh well, happy shopping. But then again, the one at Andy Baxter's is a very nice red and gold sparkle. This one is just the black and white one. Visog, enjoying Bass Direct's videos, interviews and stock updates. Yes, I remember Mark talking about all of this back in 2018. We were talking about trying to get the magazine to do video reviews, and it kept getting mentioned, and we kept talking about it, but they just didn't want to pump out the money or put up the money to do video reviews and to have studio and cameras and audio editing and video editing. So when my channel, this channel, started up in 2020, I approached Mark about doing bass reviews and demos, and the first 2 years here on the channel was a mixture of my own collection and stock that Mark had at Bass Direct, and I thanked him very much for letting me use all of that, and it created demos that then were posted up on Bass Direct's socials. But now they've got their own thing going on, which is fabulous. Every retailer's got to do it. You can't not now, really. You've got to have a YouTube channel, and if you've got product coming in and out of a store, you've got to have online content showing people what you've got. Richard, even though I had an humbucker American Elite Dimension for many years, which was a monster. I love those Dimension basses. I remember when they first came out, I did a review of one. I think it was a single pickup one for the mag, and I was stunned at how good they were for the price. I'm surprised they didn't take off more, but it's the same old thing, isn't it? Fender has its fans. They want the way things have always been. If Fender take a step out of the norm, no one buys it. And so they can't win regardless what they do. So shame, because it was good bass, great sounding bass actually. I think that Elite Dimension with 2 humbuckers actually sounded better than the Stingrays with two pickups. I had one, and I remember thinking the Dimension was a far better sounding bass. Phil Copping, I can hear your wallet creaking. Au contraire, you can't, because I've just bought that bass, and I bought another bass for a significant amount of money a couple of weeks ago. So no, in fact, this was, I had to seriously and ah, and the tipping point was there weren't many good videos on YouTube, which is why I bought this one on Saturday. So I looked at it and thought I could do better videos than they've done, as in other people on YouTube. So that's why that one got the nod. Hello, Stacey Ann from North Carolina. Hope you're well. Richard, here we go. Oh, hold on. I'm going through the messages too quick. Richard, sadly had to trade in the Dimension as collateral towards your King Bass Mark II. Well, that's an upgrade. As long as you're going to use the King Bass, because the Dimension you would use on gigs, obviously. You don't want the King Bass just sitting in a case. Phil, for the third time this evening, I'll show you the bass. So it's a Fender Jazz Bass Plus, smaller headstock, typical sort of 1990 tuners and hardware. So it's black, silver burst is what this is called. So it's black with like a white outline, but the outline is actually more sort of olive yellow green, but under certain lighting it suddenly looks like it's got like a halo around it. Very nice. 2 single coil lace sensor pickups, Kubicki electronics, volume pickup pan, bass and treble, and then a 4-way selector switch, which is mute or standby, 2 actives and a passive. Very nice, very lovely, plays great, sounds great. Very happy with it. I've been looking for one for a while. The gallery had one. As I said, people had mucked around with it. Andy Baxter had one. I think he's still got it up there, but again, someone's done something to it, fiddled about with the electronics and pickups. There've been a few, and every time one's come up, I've not been in a position to buy. This time I was, so I did. Richard, yes, beautiful colour. I wanted a 3-tone sunburst or the blue sunburst, but this will do fine. That is a bit naughty. It looks fab, sounds fab too. I can tell you that for certain. It sounds great. All the Kubicki loveliness, but all the jazz stuff as well. It's great. So let's think, probably next week or the week after, I'll try and get the first demo up and you can hear it. And then I'll try and do the review as well at the same time. Stacy, that is just lovely. Yes. It's got a few dings, got a few bangs, but it's 35 years old. You know, a lot of these things from that period, they haven't sat in cases. People were using them back in the day. You bought a bass, you used it. You didn't really stick it to one side as a collector's item like a lot of people do these days. But and it will be getting used with me. It's not sitting in a case or hanging on the wall. It's going to go out and earn its money. So very happy with that. So that's kind of been my week. And then this week we've got live chat tonight, of course. Got my mum's hospital appointment tomorrow. Thursday, video editing. Friday, prepping for Saturday. And then Saturday, I've got a gig with Radio Gaga, which is a Queen tribute, of course. Never worked with them, never played with them. I know the bass player. And we're playing at the Marine Theatre in Lowestoft. So if you're over in Suffolk, Norfolk way, you want to come along, let me know. I'm sure I can swing guest list tickets, passes, all that sort of thing. If you're already attending, highly unlikely anyone on here is attending that show, but if you are, I'll be there, and it'd be great to see you. Come say hello. Come down to sound check if you wish. It's all good. At 35 years old, I've had a few back. Well, now, keep it clean. Keep it clean. Yes, well, I couldn't possibly comment, Phil. Metaphorically speaking, well, there we are. Yeah, well, after 35 years, it'd be worrying if you hadn't, Phil, frankly. Richard, did you mention that it has Kubicki electronics? Yes, I have. I have a vague memory of Fender buying them. Okay, I can shed some light on that. Fender didn't buy them. What happened was Phil Kubicki used to work for Fender, and the Kubicki thing just took off in the mid to late 80s. And Fender, as they are wont to do, I think they wanted to buy them, as they did with a lot of things through the 90s and 2000s. And the problem is, with Fender, with Gibson, when these leviathanic companies come knocking, it's very hard to say no, because they offer you lots of money. But the problem is they then pummel your company into the ground. So basically they buy up the competition and then bin them. What happened with the Phil Kubicki thing was he licensed. He didn't sell them. He licensed. So there was an agreement that they were able to produce Kubicki basses, build them, create them, build them on the production line as well as the hand building part. I think it lasted until 91 or 92. And I think after that, because grunge had suddenly appeared, no one wanted Kubickis. Totally not that. They wanted Gibsons, Rickenbackers, old Fenders. So anything that looked like bass exotica, something that was as radical in terms of design as the Kubicki, suddenly had no position in the market. And I don't know if it was Fender then didn't want to carry on or extend the license, or Phil just said, I'm buying it back, because he might have been a bit alarmed at the quality of some of the Fender versions. My pink one, where is it? It's in the rack down here. So this, it's now fretless. It was fretted. This is a Fender, although so there are phases where Fender had the license, but certain instruments were still being built with Kubicki parts at Phil Kubicki's workshop. I think this isn't one of them, but it does have the Kubicki parts. So I had a chat with Carla Kubicki a while back. I've still got the email, and you can work it all out by the serial number on the back. So this has got all the Kubicki stuff, but it was assembled at Fender. The problem was, so those of us who know Kubickis, see if this can pick it up. So that neck is basically a 36-piece maple laminate neck. Fender didn't seal it. So they built it all, glued it all together, trying to see if you can see all the different laminates. There you go. So 36 pieces of maple glued together. They didn't seal it. They glued it, but they didn't seal it. So the first 2.5 years that I owned this bass, if I took it out on a cold day or to a gig and it suddenly got really hot or really cold or very humid, the neck would just move all over the shop. And there was nothing you could do about it. It didn't matter how you adjusted it. You might have added relief, tightened it up. Didn't matter. It just would not sit properly. So this is 1993. I'm at university. And we didn't have the internet as we know it, but we had things called Unix servers and news groups and FTP. So there was an American-based bass channel, I guess you would call it. But so it was just all text. It was, just text, strings of text. And Phil Kubicki appeared on there. And, or someone was talking. No, I'll tell you what it was. Someone was talking about Kubickis. And there was suddenly this big conversation. Some people were going, oh, my Kubicki neck is fabulous. Amazingly solid. Never moves. Never this, never that. Other people were going, I've got a Kubicki and it's all over the place. What the hell? We didn't know all the backstory. You wouldn't. There was no central resource for it. So I messaged. I think Phil Kubicki did get involved in the conversation. So I messaged him directly and I said, I'm really sorry. I'm a student in the UK. I've got one of your basses. Here's the serial number. Now, by rights, having come out of the Fender factory, that should have had a Fender custom shop sticker on the back. It didn't. It never did. As far as I was concerned, I bought a proper full-blown Philip Kubicki bass. And he said, He said, yours is one of a string of 200 that were made across like 2 months. I'm really sorry to tell you. He said, you see the varnish on the back of the neck? I went, yeah. He said, there's nothing sealing the timber. So literally the neck has been built, glued, and then varnished. So nothing was sealed. So when temperature changes or humidity goes up or down, your neck is going to be extremely temperamental. I said, that's the problem. He said, tell you what, take the neck off, wrap it all up, put it in a box or however you want to send it. He said, send it back to me. He said, I need you to pay for the shipping. He said, but I'll do the work. I'll strip that neck. I'll completely seal it, readjust it, revarnish it, send it back to you. And he did. And it's been outstanding ever since. Never moved. I've never had to adjust the truss rod on it since. So, yeah, that's kind of what happened. So the whole Fender thing, I think they just gave up on it. But they did carry on using some of the electronics in some of the other models. So there was the Fender Precision Anniversary model from around 92, 93. They obviously used the electronics in the Jazz Bass Plus. I think they also used those electronics as the starting point for the Urge Stu ham bass, because by that point Stu got on board with Fender. I'm not sure how many of his Kubickis he kept, but he obviously wanted his own signature model, went with Fender for the Urge, and then created the thing with 2 single coils and a precision pickup. And I think the Kubicki circuitry was like the starting point for how that sounded. So there was a lot of that going on. Stacey, after 35 years, we all have a few dings. Don't we just? Glad you were able to secure that bass. Thank you very much, Mr. Copping. Have a good one with the Gaga crew. Be good to catch up soon. Absolutely. All the best to you and all you bass heads on the live chat. Well done, Philip. Lovely job. Visog. Oh, you'll have to do a tone comparison between the New J and the Kubicki. Yes, I will. Between 3 Kubickis and the Jazz Plus. I've got 3 here. So, yeah, that will be happening. Actually, once I clear the backlog of things that I've got in the melting pot, there is going to be a whole load of comparison videos. I've been promising it for ages and ages. The problem is having the room, and because it's just me, I have to go and set the camera up, check it's all right, then start filming, go back behind the camera, check that it's all in view and focus, go back, do it all again, and it just eats up time like you wouldn't believe. So if I can get this office in fine form, then those comparison videos can start happening. So I've got 3 Alembics I want to do a comparison of. I've got a couple of Stingrays. I've got loads of Statuses I want to do. GBs, got 4 of them. A couple of Lakelands, loads of Fender stuff, loads. So there's loads. So it will all be getting out there. I've just got to clear the backlog at the moment, and we'll be laughing. Stacey, there she is, the Coral Jewel. There we are. That's the bass my niece wants when I pop off. I said, what are you going to do with it? I said, can't play. She'll just like the colour. Right, okay. Richard, neck movement reminds me of the Japanese Geddy Lee jazz. Yep. A neck so thin that your setup disappears every time it rains. That was my issue also with the JD that I had from 98 to 2002. I would spend hours getting that thing set up. It's how I learned, actually, was just getting your hands dirty, setting these basses up. And I could spend hours of my time getting that JD set how I wanted it to be. You then take it to rehearsal or a gig, and it would just be all over the place. And it would change while you were playing. Like within the space of a 4-hour rehearsal, it could go from being near perfect to just almost unplayable. And in the end, I just thought, I am not spending time like this. The bass wasn't worth that amount of effort. And it was just a banana neck. Nothing was going to fix it. So it had to go. Let someone else worry about it. And actually that served as a good pointer from that point on, because I've never bought a bass with neck problems since. If I've gone and checked one out, like if I've seen an ad and I've wanted to go and check it before I've bought it, if it's got neck problems, I'm not going near it. It's just not worth it. It's not worth the aggro. But I've been quite lucky. I don't think I've got... Just having a look here. No. No, I don't think I've got any basses with neck problems these days. Nothing that seasonal adjustments require. Obviously, as I've said before, for the UK, spring and autumn time. And I hear all the strings on these basses go ping, 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 ping. And they all start going off over a space of a couple of days as weather factors change. So if you do those adjustments, and it's usually only literally a quarter turn or a half turn on a truss rod, and then 6 months later you do it the other way, and you just keep your basses adjusted is good advice. The reason those truss rods are there is to make them playable. So, you know, if you do your adjustments, the bass will see you through, really. Stacey, that will make for some amazing footage. It will. It will. There's going to be loads of that. Lots of comparison videos. Lots of comparison videos I want to do with effect pedals. But as I say, it's a question of space. We're going to be having an extension done. Probably next year. We were hoping it was going to be this year, but it's going to be next year. I'm going to have my own little studio room here on the house, which will mean the clutter in my office does not impact my ability to film and edit. So that'll all be going through to there. Gareth Harrison, good to see you. Hope you're well. Thank you for all your messages this week. Much appreciated, of course. So there we go. So that's been my week. And as I say, this week will be Radio Gaga at the Marine Theatre in Lowestoft. Following week, next week, I've got an Oasis tribute doing a private event in Orpington in Kent. And then the Saturday, we've got a wedding in Somerset with Uncle Funk. So it's all go. Busy time coming up, but it won't affect the videos coming out, I promise. So here we are. It's just coming up 20 to 9 here. London Town, UK, live chat 113 here on Brooks's Bass Corner. Yes, you heard that right. 113 live chats we've done. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I don't know how we've done that many live chats, but we have. You guys keep coming back. Thank you very much is all I can say. Thank you so much. And thank you to all the new subscribers, although we've lost a couple over the past couple of days. Not sure what happened there. Thank you for all the likes, all the comments, all the shares. Very much appreciated. And but there'll be a video going up Thursday. I'll decide if it's going to be a demo or a gig vlog. And then maybe another one on Friday as well. We'll see. If I can do 2 in 2 days. Well, again, if I can film the demos quick and get them edited quick, they'll be out there for you guys to see. So how's everyone doing? What's been going on? Let me know. Anyone bought anything new? How's that new bass, Richard, that you were showing us on the train from Edinburgh last week. And also, if you want to join in live here by video or audio, of course you can. There's a ticker running along the bottom of the screen. Email me, brooksysbasecorner@gmail.com. I'll send you an invite. You click on the invite, and then you're live here. And if you don't want to come on by video, you just want to do audio, you can do that. It's perfectly okay. No problem. But if you want to come on, talk bass, got any bass problems, any gear problems, gear issues, maybe your bass is playing up, maybe the amp's giving you a hard time, maybe your effects pedal's gone a bit wonky. Everything's going wonky these days. By all means, ask if I can help. That's what we're here for. If I don't know the answer, I'm sure one of the fine people here on the live chat may well do. Gareth Harrison, you did a gig at Holmfirth Folk Festival. Is that Holmfirth where the picture drome is? That's a funny old place to get to. Holmfirth, which is where Last of Summer Wine was filmed. That's the place. Yeah. I did a Oasis tribute up there in tail end of 2018. It was a hell of a drive. I remember that all the way from London. I met them en route. And then it was just like the long and winding road for hours on end. Richard, the train bass is lovely. Vintera 2 Mustang, excellent. Had labella flats on it, which killed the sound. So you've changed them for a set of Tomastic jazz flats. Cool. Everything you hoped that bass would be? All going nicely? Hope you have as much success with that as I've had with this Jazz Bass Plus. Gareth, that's the one. Yeah, Holmfirth. I remember the roads being very narrow, very tight. And I remember the guys in the van trying to turn around. It took them about 20 minutes. They had to go back the other way when we finished the gig. We came out of the venue, turned right instead of left. They had to go up the road and turn round, but the roads were so narrow, it was like a 250-point turn in order to turn the van round and go back the other way. Oh, how we laughed. Richard, yes, just fine, but still prefer my American Performer Mustang on the Elixir rounds. So is it the strings that are making you prefer that, or is it the actual bass? All the Vinteras I've played have been pretty good, apart from one. There was a jazz bass at one of the PMT branches I went to in 2019 for a review day. And I think they literally just taken it out of the box and stuck it on the wall. And it did not play good. Kind of the neck was concave. Not great. And I said, guys, could you not have just set this up before people are going to come in and play this and go, I don't want to buy that because it's horrible. If you just set, 5 minutes, tweak the truss rod, sort the pickup height, set the saddles, doesn't need a full setup. Those 3 things will do it. And you'll probably sell it today. I think the American, right, Richard, I think the American one just plays and sounds better, especially with the extra jazz pickup. It's understandable. But it was a nice colour, the one you've bought. A very nice colour. Or I thought so. Was it Continental Blueberry? I think. You can tell me. It was exotic sounding, whatever it was. Okay, so I'm just checking the stream health. Oh, by the way, we were talking last week, weren't we, about screen resolution, camera resolution, running at 1080. So today we're running at 1080, and we've got the bells and whistles, wordy whiz bang, full-blown 900 meg BT service, fiber service. So hopefully for you guys, it should now look a bit better, sound a bit better, running at 1080 instead of 740. Hopefully I don't know if you're seeing any improvement. Maybe you are. I think the picture looks a little crisper. Might just be my eyes. I don't know. You tell me. Richard, the colour was the main attraction. Competition burgundy. Thank you. That's it. Very nice. I liked it. I've still got the photo here on my hard drive. Right, stream health we were checking. Yeah, that's good. Stream is healthy. Excellent. Viewer activity. Yeah, all good. That's fine. That's all fine. That's going fine. And analytics. Ooh, misses. We've got 100 people watching stuff from the channel at this very moment. Thank you very much. Thank you. Even though it's blue, I quite like, yeah, but it's that same old thing, isn't it? On colours, they come up with these fancy names and you think, well, it's just blue. But it was very nice blue, I have to say. Gareth Harrison, my Made in Mexico P is Midnight Wine. I remember that colour coming out. They did a midnight blue. Fender did a midnight blue round about 89, 90. And then they reintroduced it around about 1999, 2000. I bought a Strat when I joined my really busy covers band back in 98. Steve Overland had a deal with Fender. And we were going away on a 10-week trip to the Middle East for, well, it was when the band started. Basically, that trip paid for my deposit on our first house. And I said, look, I want to buy a Strat, take it with me and learn how to play guitar. He said, oh, give this guy a ring. So I did, and I'd seen the catalogue, Midnight Blue. Could I get a Midnight Blue? I wanted it's basically that model coming out. It's called the Fat Strat. So you had a humbucker in the bridge, 2 single coils. You couldn't get it in a Midnight Blue. It wasn't an option. They only had like 3 colour choices for it. But I could see this Midnight Blue with 2 humbuckers in their catalogue. But again, you'd have to order it. It wouldn't be like a general model that would come into the UK. Shame, because it looked great. Midnight Blue with black pearloid plate it was. Russell Zauner, good to see you. Long time no see. A healthy stream is always a good thing. I think so. Now it's even healthier these days, now that we've got a better service from BT. Midnight Wine is a lovely colour, Gareth. You're right, it is. Russell, I've got a 90s guitar, came metallic cherry fudge. Hell's bells. Woo, so that would be like a reddy brown with a metallic sparkle in it, I guess. Another channel just sold a greened out Lake Placid blue bass. Wow, okay. Woo. Rarities. Some of the colours. I mean, I'm surprised that some companies don't do a broader range of colours. I get it. I know what the process is. You know, they stick to their most popular colours and they do production runs, and they'll maybe have 10,000 basses being produced in black, 10,000 in white, 10,000 in red, and then they get sent out all over the world. But some of the colours, especially if you go back through old Fender catalogues, and I've got a whole bunch of them in that drawer down there, some of the stuff through the 2000s was fab. But they don't do it now. The only way you can get that colour is to buy a guitar or a bass, take it to a spray shop and say, that's the colour I want. Or you've got to go down the custom shop route through Fender or bass supplier of choice and say, I want it that colour, and you pay for the privilege. But there we go. There we go. Russell, I'm surprised they don't sell more wraps like Cars and Boats do if they don't like the colour. I think wrapping a guitar is possibly a little trickier because you're dealing with really small spaces and stuff, especially where hardware goes. I know when I watch Dave's World of Fun stuff and he's doing copper shielding, and some of that, you can just hear him swearing on the camera. It's like, it's just so finicky, getting in all those little spaces and pressing it all in, and yeah, I get the deal. So yeah. So as I said, hopefully Thursday, no, there'll definitely be something up on Thursday because I'm out all day tomorrow. But I've got 2 videos. Well, basically at the end, I've just got to tidy up a few bits, go in and sort some of the sound out, and then they can roll. So hopefully Thursday and Friday, or Thursday and Saturday, there'll be two videos up this week. But I haven't decided which order they're going in. And Gig Vlog 8 will be... That's the gig where I had to drive for 5 hours down to Plymouth for a Queen tribute gig and then 5 hours back. I was knackered that weekend. So Gig Vlogs 6 and 7 that are already here on the channel were the other 2 gigs that weekend. Crazy times, crazy weekend that was. Racked up the miles, put it that way. But it's a good, well, actually, yeah, it's a good gig vlog, that one. Gareth, Status Quo had a range of wraps for Telecasters to make them look like their guitars. Okay. Didn't know that. Thank you for educating me, sir. Had a range of wraps. Where would you buy that from? Their website? Or their merch store? Had a range of wraps for Telecasters to make them look like their guitars. Okay. To be fair, if there were ever 2 guitars that needed tarting up a bit, it was those tellies, especially Francis's green one. Let's be fair, those guitars had earned their living, most definitely. It was a front wrap rather than a full wrap. Okay. That was Rick Parfitt's patented idea. I forget what the company was called. His son would know. I know Rick Jr. I'll ask him next time I bump into him. Might cross paths with him over the summer, actually, as it happens, because his lot will be out doing festivals, just as we will be with Uncle Funk. Actually, while I'm thinking of that, if anyone is coming to see us play Soultasia Festival on the 7th of June at Malden Park in Essex, I've just seen the running order, literally like 10 minutes before we came to air. And if you thought you were going to be turning up in the middle of the afternoon and see Uncle Funk's Disco Inferno, I've got news for you. You're going to need to be there by 1:30. I think we're the first act, which is a bit daft to me. I don't quite understand why they've put us first, because A, we're a live band. We're not doing playback. And when you got 9 of us on stage creating a show, we're starting the show just as people are filtering in. Makes no sense. On the other hand, we do have another gig later that day, but even so, it's not so far away that we needed to be on at 1:30. But there we have it. Can't do anything about it. You sent me a link, Gareth. Oh, right, that'll be on Facebook. Yep, I'll check that out later on, because I'm logged out of Facebook at the moment. Yeah, so if you are coming to Soultasia and you're hoping to see Uncle Funk's Disco Inferno, make sure you're there for 1:30. We're finished. We're done and dusted. I think by 2... let's just look, shall we? I saw it just before we went live. Right, Soultasia. Here we go. $1:30. Shack Attack are on after us at 2:45, so we're going to be off stage at 2:30. So we're doing a 1 hour set. It's great. It means we've actually got time to go and get some food after we've finished, before we go on to another show later that day. Promenade Park, it's called, in Malden, 7th of June. So there's us, then Shack Attack, then Luther Vandross tribute, Incognito, The Real Thing, Earth, Wind and Fire Experience, and wrapping it all up at the end of the day, Shalimar. All good. It's going to be a good show. I'm a bit bemused why we're opening, but That's what they want. I guess it's because we're covers as opposed to an original act. So that's fine. I'll take the gig. Thankfully, a lot of people that go to Soultasia, we get messages all the time going, "Oh, we love you when you're there." Oh. And we aren't on any other Soultasias this year, only this one show. So hopefully there'll be loads of people down the front enjoying what we're doing. Hope so. Richard, it was called Guitar Facelift. Is it still going? Let's have a look. It's a great idea. Yeah, it's still going. Rick Parfitt's facelift demonstration video. Oh, he did it. I'm surprised he was sober enough to. Ah, okay. Interesting. I'll have a look at that. I didn't even know about that. How about that? Is there a bass version? Or is it just a reusable guitar body overlay? God, it's not very expensive, is it? It's 20 quid. Interesting. Strats and tellies. Nothing for bass. That's a shame. I never knew that. I'd never seen that. It never crossed my path at the magazine. We never heard of it, but then they don't have any bass products, so. So it is coming up to 9 o'clock here in London. Hope you're safe and well, wherever you are. Hope bass playing's going great. We're going to be wrapping up at 10 o'clock tonight, so you early birds have got the best stuff tonight. We've got to stop at 10 because I've got to take my mum to the hospital tomorrow, and I've got to wake up at 4 o'clock in order to get down to the south coast to get to hospital. So, yeah, we've got to wrap up at 10 tonight. So the latecomers, we could be gone before they even appear, but that's the way it has to be, sadly, this week. So, yeah, I think Mr. Millard will be gracing us with his presence at some point. So that's all good. So I put the title of the video on YouTube. It's like, how's everyone's gigging summer looking? Is everyone busy? Everyone got gigs coming up? Seems to be a funny... There seems to be a funny atmosphere with gigs within the sort of covers, tribute, theatre. Not talking original bands because I'm not working in that sort of area, but all the stuff that I work in, everyone I've spoken to lately, there's like this weird trepidation. Like everyone's waiting for gigs to suddenly kick in, and they might do, and some bands are really busy. But a lot of bands, a lot of musicians aren't. I've had two bass players who are normally flat out busy contact me today and say, haven't got a gig on Saturday or Friday. If you hear of anything, can you let me know? Yeah, of course. The gig I've got this Saturday is the only gig I've been offered for this weekend. June is a little bit different. And June tends to go a bit spacky. So there's a few Saturdays in June I could have done 4 or 5 times over. But then for me, I get into July, get to the 3rd week in July, and it suddenly goes deathly quiet for literally 4 or 5 weeks. I can't put my finger on it. I don't know why. Just the way gigs are falling. I don't know if it's a lack of private bookings. I know festival shows are down because some festivals just aren't running this year. Some of the festivals I would normally do with Uncle Funk aren't running. Some have even said we're not going to do anything anymore. They've called a day. It's funny. It's very strange at the moment. I don't know what's causing it, but it feels like there's a bit of apprehension among musicians. Um, as a result, everyone's sort of staying put in their bands. So there isn't a hell of a lot, or from my perspective, I'm not seeing a lot of depping offers, depping inquiries at the moment. People are staying put in their bands and they're not going anywhere. Now, maybe some of this might also be Brexit affecting bands going over into Europe. And if that work has gone, then people are going to stay put in their bands here. Um, I'm just interested. Is anyone else experiencing this? Is everyone else like rampantly busy? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Um, it just feels like there's an odd atmosphere over gigging this summer. I know everyone who does it for a living is like really looking forward to getting out there and doing their thing. Um, but it's like normally from about middle of March, the phone would start going, emails would start going, messages. Are you free for this date? Free for that date? Da, 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 da. And it's not really happening at the moment. It's very much fits and starts. So I can have a couple of days where things like inquiries come in, and then there might be nothing for 2 weeks. But yeah, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just my perception of what's going on at the moment. There are 10 people watching at the moment, and I can see 9 of them have come through YouTube. 1 has come through from Twitch. Welcome. Good to see you. None from Facebook at the moment. But you're very welcome. Good to have you on board. Thank you for all the likes, the streams, likes, shares. Thank you, Mike. Comments this week. It's very much appreciated. New subscribers, welcome aboard. People who dropped off, fair enough. I don't know why you've dropped off, but there we are. Everything's dropping off these days. Yeah. Just check. There's nothing pending there in the community tab. I think everything's good. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Gav Harrison, I mainly play pubs and clubs, and that's thinning out as they are either closing or losing budget. This is what I'm thinking. I think a lot of the bands that do that, and that is their sort of modus operandi, are feeling it. I've seen stuff on Bass Chat and people saying, is it really quiet? And I think it's a location thing. I think places that used to have a very active pub and club circuit are finding those dwindling in terms of places to play. I keep seeing, and this has been a thing maybe for the last 12 months, more and more musos complaining about venues cancelling them and not telling them. Like booking them on a gig, and then booking another band, so double booking them, and then not telling them until the day. So I'm wondering if there's some of that maybe kicking in as well. Richard, have you? Yes, you've just sent me this. Mike, so this is your email to me, Richard. Hi, Mike, take a look at this. I'm picking it up from Kent late next week. It looks like a status of some rare wooden through neck status series 1 from around 94. Needs a little work, but looks like it'll be a nice instrument. Now, you're saying it's a Series 1. I've always assumed Series 1s had bolt-on necks, but that's not necessarily always the case. You've got the walnut tone block. Right, let's have a look on the front. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure that's a Series 1. I think that's something else. I'm just rattling through these pictures. Let's have a look at the front. If I'm honest, that looks more like It could be a Series 1. It looks to me like it could potentially be. It could be. There was another model. There was another model of Status began with E. Right. I know there's models on the tip of my tongue, and I can't remember it straight off the bat. So it's got the two. It's got volume, pan, bass, and treble. It's not that. It could well be a Series 1. But I am wondering. Do you know what? It is a Series 1. It is a Series 1. You're right. But it's got that body shape that makes me think it isn't. And also, one of the pickups has obviously died, and they've replaced it with a different pickup. They've replaced it with a hyperactive pickup. Clearly, because Status don't do the pickups with the gold lettering on anymore. I'm trying to remember what that range of basses was. Let me see. If I can't see it there, I'm going to go over to State Eye. I'll find it on there. I think you're right. That is a Series 1. Here we go. Right, let's get into there. And I want to catalogues and reviews. Thank you very much. The model I was thinking of, not the Energies, it was... Oh, it's not even in that catalogue. Right, here we go. Eclipse Artist, thank you. That's what it was. That's what I was thinking of. Something going on at stateeye.com. You can't select anything. Looks like they've moved it over. Ah, there we go. Now, okay. If you look at the Eclipse, it's got the same control layout. I can't see the... if I could see the back of that. Okay. Bear with me a moment. I'm on one here. Ah, here we go. So there was an Eclipse Artist, but that had the 4 controls in the sort of diamond shape. And that's not what yours is doing. Okay. I need to go back from there. Okay. So right, it's not an Eclipse. Yes, you're right. It's a Series 1. I like to get to the bottom of these things. It's just it's got the body styling of an Eclipse, but the control layout's different. Okay. See if there's anything more. Ah, now then, hold the bus, hold the bus. So I'm looking here at a thing from Total Guitar, December 1994. I'm going to share this. Let's have a look at that bridge of yours. Yep, it's that bridge. Okay, but you've got a through neck with a walnut tone block. Yeah, the Eclipses didn't. I think you've got a Series 1. Yeah. So if you go to stateeye.com, go to content, go to total, click on content, it brings you through to a thing with all the brochures and reviews and what have you. Go to the Total Guitar. What was the option for that? Total Guitar Eclipse Review, December 94. That body shape is the same, but it doesn't have the neck. I think it's a set neck, but it doesn't show that going through the front facing of the guitar. That would have a fancy top like it's got in this review, but you don't see the timber going through. So yeah, I think you've got a Series 1 there. Sorry to suggest that you hadn't, but Richard, my summer is looking busy. I've been busy this year so far, but currently I have nearly 2 months off. Nothing until mid-July. The Warners and theatre circuit seems very all or nothing at the moment. Yeah. I think a lot of the theatre stuff is not falling on its arse. I think there's too much. I think every theatre that I play at, I look at their roster of what they've got coming up, and literally they've got shows every night. People don't have the money in some of these smaller towns and villages and stuff to do that. And I think that might be having an effect, maybe. Gareth, apparently Liverpool Council have started imposing restrictions on parking, effectively stopping bands loading in and out of venues, mate. That was happening in London like 20 years ago. 25. It's one of the reasons now that I don't complain really about not doing many London gigs. It just got to a point where it's just way too much grief and stress for not a lot of money. It never used to be like that. There would always be either parking at the venue or you'd find street parking. If not outside, then literally just round the corner. And over time, it's just become impossible. I remember doing some Oxford O'Neill's gigs, which had its own issues since they put flats above it, started renting out flats above it, but you could never park. Well, in fact, when we first started playing there in 2003, you could park outside and there was a bay thing in front of the window and you were playing, so you could actually look right and see your car in this bay. And after about 3 months of us playing there, it became you couldn't park there. And I remember all three of us got parking tickets on one night. And it was like, you put it down to experience. We got away with it for however long, but then we got done. And the venue had parking out the back, but they wouldn't let us park there. Nice, eh? And for years, up until 2014, I think was the last time I played there, we had to park in the car park down at the bottom of the street where Oxford O'Neill's is. And then all of a sudden, they started letting us park out the back. Change of manager. He said, oh no, bands can park out the back. And I remember the staff being really hacked off that we'd got their parking spaces. But it was like, well, we've got all this gear to carry. We can't park out the front. We can't park on the side. We're going to get parking tickets, but you want us to drag all the gear and the PA in. Come on. Richard, Series 1 had the option of a bolt-on or through neck. Right, okay. According to the brochure, similar one was the Eclipse, but they had a single piece curved front. Thank you very much. That's it. You sent me the brochure. Very good. That's the fella. Yeah. That's right. Well, enjoy. enjoy. Hope it sounds good. It's got graphite reinforcement strips in the neck, so hopefully should be fine. There we are. But very nice bass. Lovely. I think that might be a Burma drone top. Maybe. Nice bit of finger wear above the pickup there. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. That looks cracking. When do you get it, Rich? Sorry, it's in the email, isn't it? Picking it up in Kent late next week. Okay, so in 2 weeks' time, we'll you'll be able to tell us. It's got a hefty amount of wear on the back, but at least it's been used. It'll be played in, that's for sure. Nice. Similar one was the Eclipse, but they had a single piece curve front. Yep. Right, got all of that. That's very good. Excellent. I have some news. Anyone who uses Aguilar or Spector, Barnes and Mullins have been distributor here in the UK for a considerable amount of time. They won't be for much longer. It's going to be Korg. Korg are doing all their stuff in-house. So Korg bought out both Spector and Aguilar. I think did they do both before COVID? They definitely did Spector. That was 2018. I think Aguilar was a year or two after. Anyway, they've basically allowed the distributors in the various territories around the world to do their thing. Well, now Korg are taking it all in-house. They're going to be doing it all themselves. So for those of us who are artists, endorsees of either brand, and you've become accustomed to the excellent service we get from Barnes and Mullins, that's not going to be a thing for very much longer. So if you've got money burning a hole in your pocket and you were looking at buying either a Spector or any form of Aguilar gear, whether it's pickups, circuits, amps, cabs, pedals, covers, t-shirts, hoodies, whatever, you need to get in touch with Barnes and Mullins very, very rapidly. I don't know when this handover takes place. I only heard about it a few days ago. It's a bit disconcerting because my initial hookup with Aguilar was with Dave and Dave, the creator and the boss, back in 2014. And I can remember being sat in their offices in New York and they said, would you like to use our gear? I said, I'd love to, but I use EBS and you don't do a 2x12 Neo cabinet. They said, we're working on it. But I was told that if I used their gear, that wherever I was playing in the world could provide me with amplification wherever I was playing. So at the time I was still doing my Middle East trips with my old band. So it meant I didn't have to use the horrible amplification in the club that I played in. I could have contacted the Middle East rep for Aguilar and I would have had a rig there at the club for me for the whole duration. Things moved on. 2018, they suddenly do a 2x12 Neo cab. Yeah, I'm on board. I'll have some of that. Was offered an endorsement deal, full UK backup from Barnes and Mullins, but whatever I needed, wherever I was playing around the world, you get it. Not anymore. Not anymore. I don't think anyone at Korg in America or Aguilar has a clue who I am. And that's fine. I have no communication with any of them. Dave and Dave are long gone. and now the last remaining sort of cog in that wheel, which is Barnes and Mullins, is no longer going to be dealing with it. So it's a real shame. It's a real shame. Richard, the Walnut. Oh, hang on. George Iliadis, good to see you. Hope all is well. Greetings from Broad Beach, Queensland. Hope you are well, George. Richard, the walnut tone block will make the biggest difference. Certainly will. Oh, yes. Big time. It'll give it like a smooth darkness through the tone. Just rounds some of the not harsh, brighter nature of the maple in that bass. It'll be good. It'll be good. I serviced a guy called Paul Heath. He had a Series 1 and he bought a 5-string Empathy, and I serviced both of those basses for him as we were coming out of lockdown in 2021. And the Series 1 was a killer bass. It had been seriously through the wars. I mean, there was so much needed sorting on that. I think a previous owner had sort of started to do DIY jobs on it and made a right pig's ear of it. But anyway, it still played, and that was fine. And the Empathy was what it was, just needed a clean up and a setup. And I've not heard from him since. I think I must have done such a good job, it hasn't needed tweaking since. Stacey saying hello to George. Yeah. The famous 5, what's that? Sorry, I just saw an article on this State Eye site that was part of BGM, and I was like, I don't remember doing that. It wasn't me. Wasn't me at all. Not even close. Most of the State stuff for BGM was dealt with by Stuart Clayton. I did the Series 3. But that was about it. That's a good site, stateeye.com. There used to be a lot more on it, actually. There used to be a lot more of the flyers, actually. If I just missed that, let me have a look. Where's all the flyers? Oh, I see. You've got to load more, you dope. Yeah, it's a bit harder to find your way around all this. Whoever says... Andre Simmer, I think, may have had a hand in this. It was easier to see before out, Andre, in the list. This is a bit difficult to make your way around. To be fair, it's not sort of organised together. Okie dokes. Mr. Pink Bassman. I'll get my headphones on. We were talking statuses there. Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jamie Millard.
Hello, all.
There we are. Fabulous.
There we go.
How are we?
Oh, we're busy. Okay.
You've been busy, at the gym?
I did that this morning.
Good man.
Oh, yes.
Very good. Very good.
What's happening? Status. Oh, I'm actually awaiting a friend from Wales who is coming across the pond right now.
Okay. Bringing anything to you?
He's bringing his own attitude.
Okay. Very good.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yes. So
I thought you were going to say he's going to bring you 4 JDs.
That would be...
Now, I've got a little something to tell you. there's a JD short scale at
Mm-hmm.
Bass Direct. Are you aware of this?
What color is it?
Red, I think.
Okay.
Can't remember. I saw it on Saturday. Should be in their listing. Hold on.
On Bass Direct.
Yep. I saw it
Let's-
and I thought, I know just the man.
Did you see Ollie's?
No, that wasn't
Ollie
at
got
Bass
his
Direct.
back. They fixed his up. It's volcano red. It's smashing.
Yeah, I've seen that on Facebook. Yes. I meant I was at Bass Direct on Saturday.
Okay.
Let's have a look here.
All right.
I'm after right short scale. Here we go. Where is it? Brand. Thank you. Oh. Okay. I think it's not listed there on the website. If you contact Marcus,
Oh,
he'll
yes.
tell you everything about it. I saw it. I thought, I know someone would probably like that.
I'm surprised Marcus hasn't snapped it up himself.
He's got plenty to keep him occupied at the moment. But yes, so there's a short scale. I think it's a
Okay.
series 3.
Is
Or
it a
is
short
series
scale,
1?
not series 4?
Don't know. You'd need to have a chat with him. I just saw it and I thought, wow, okay, right, well, don't see many of those in the wild.
Right. Short scale,
But,
Okay.
yeah.
Let's have a look.
It's not there on the site, on their site.
Right.
And the guy that was selling that Status collection the other week, you remember
Yeah.
you sent me a message going, oh, there might be something. All of that was at Bass Direct as well. Mark's had gone up to the guy's house the day before in Durham, which is no mean feat. That's a fairly sizable drive. And basically the guy was cashing in most of his collection. I think he had one bass left. And all those statuses, and there was a load of other stuff. Some of it's up on Bass Direct's site now.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Lots of stuff. Lots and lots of goodness.
All right. Let's see. I'm sending the wee lad a message. See what he says.
Mm.
See what he says. See how quick he replies. He's pretty good at everything.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for the guys at Bass Brothers to flash me a JD video of number 2.
Oh, has he still not done that?
No.
I would have popped in. I would have popped in on Saturday and gone and seen Will, but I was so up against it time-wise. Oh, you probably haven't seen if we haven't spoken. I bought this.
Oh, yes, a deluxe, a jazz bass deluxe.
Jazz Bass Plus.
Oh, right. Plus, yep. It's been a minute since that's the one with the Kubicki electronics in it.
That's the fella.
That's the one.
And a very nice low number as well. 910.
That's not terrible.
That's good.
Uh-huh.
All the ones I've been looking at online were in the 10,000 realm.
Of course they were.
There were lots of them.
Oh.
I've seen many covers players with them years ago. Oh, he's disappeared. Put 50p in the meter. It'll work a treat. Well, we'll wait for him to reappear. He was there and then he went. That's oh, he's back. There we are. Pinging away. There we are.
Stupid things over here sometimes. Poof, it's gone.
Literally.
Right.
Yes, so that I got from Bass Direct. But I was hoping that if I'd had a bit more time, I could have gone over and seen Will and seen that JD for you. I could have filmed it, but there wasn't the time. And they were shutting at 3.
Ah, yes.
And I contacted Will on the Wednesday when I said I might be popping up because my gig is en route. And he said he actually had like 3 or 4 people had already booked to go in and try basses out. So it wasn't the sort of situation where I could just turn up and play stuff. Other people would be in there, but
Yeah, I'm
there's
kind of
only him.
right. I'm kind of surprised that one's still sticking around. I thought it would have been shifted already.
It's a lot of money.
Well, it's $5,000. It's true, it's $5,000, but
It's
you
a
know,
chunk of cash, and I think a lot of people are looking at like 3.5, and they're maybe not wanting to go above that. I'm sure you've seen that Red Series 2 from the guy, I think Chichester Way,
hmm
and we'll see if that gets 3.5 grand.
right. Well, I think
It might, but it
things
might
are
not.
shifting. Things are changing because everybody's kind of holding their dosh tight.
Yeah, and also because the JD thing where it's going to take 3 or 4 years to get one. How desperate are you?
Right.
So do you want 3 or 4 years with a second-hand one, which doesn't make any difference to me, but
Nope.
some people get very pernickety about these things and they want a brand new one.
Well, that's when you step in with things that you can't get brand new.
Correct.
I mean,
Correct.
we've got a few of those little naughty bits sitting around here.
If anyone wants to join in with me and Jamie talking bass, email me, brooksysbasscorner@gmail.com, and I'll send you an invite. So it doesn't just have to be me and his lordship. You guys can join
Right.
in as well if you wish to do so. Richard, I'd really like a Series 3 status we're talking about here. Never
Okay.
see them up for sale. They didn't make many. That's why.
Yep.
I've had an S2 Classic for nearly 20 years. That'll do you fine. The Series 3s are lovely, but they're very sharp edged. Not sharp as in dangerous, you cut your finger. But there's no curvature to that body. It's very, it's sharp lines. It sounds fabulous, but that's really the only difference. There wasn't a huge amount of difference in the circuit and pickups as far as I could tell when I reviewed them. So very nice, very lovely, some lovely finishes. They really sort of pulled all the bells and whistles out for that. But yeah, you may struggle to see them come up secondhand. I think the people that have got them will probably say that's their base for life. So and they only came out from 2014. So there's not a huge amount of time before they went into semi-retirement. So just keep your eyes peeled, I'd say. You got guests?
Oh, it's just kind of funny because everybody's kind of sort of used to me popping in and out of here. So now they just kind of go, "Are you here? Are
There
you?"
is. There's a plate. There's a plate with goodies behind you.
It's hovering.
It's
That's a
there, isn't it? Yeah.
yes. I'll
Look,
grab it.
UFOs.
No, go on. I'll get in a bit. Thank you. I've got a little naughty bit for Will.
I've heard. Well, everyone's got a naughty bit for Will. Well, there we have it. Very nice. Is this a new purchase or?
Oh no, this is a 1970.
Right. Oh, this was already in your collection.
Right. This is a 21 fret.
Ah.
Factory style, complete with all the goodies, including that of checkerboard.
Nice. What's that? Figuratively speaking, what's that worth?
10K.
Wow. Now, I was talking to Marcus about this on Saturday. Thank you. I'm still here.
He's chiming in.
Here.
He's chiming in.
He is. He's been chiming in all day. Just don't get why they've suddenly ratcheted up in popularity. What is the stimulus that's made those? Look, I did a couple of reviews of Rickenbackers back in 2019, and yeah, they're 1,500 quid or so.
Right.
Now it's like the desirable base. So who is the big focal point that's making people want to go and buy these? I don't know.
It's kind of ironic in a way because you've got all the punk bands want them. And then you've got kind of the rockers a la Glenn Hughes and those guys still use them.
Rush fans.
And you've got all your Rush and Yes fans. Our good friend Sir Nick was a grand old man with Chris Squire. So, I mean, Chris Squire, his sister told me that Chris Squire and Mark King were the two for Nick.
But I still don't know what this. sudden resurgence is all about, because now Ricky prices are just going ballistic, and I'm like, well, what's happened? Is there a bad? It's not like there's a bad. It's not like Chris Wolstenholme has started using Rickenbackers,
Right.
or Justin Chancellor. I don't know what the big Lemmy fans. Yeah, maybe, but still, it's like when Lemmy was around, he was generating a degree of Rickenbacker sales, but the
Mm-hmm.
second-hand prices on Ricks now just going nuts. In
Well,
6 years, they've gone from 1,500 quid. Second hand, you might have got one for $1,000, depending on the condition.
well, you've seen this one.
Yeah,
This is a 68. And I
yeah.
mean, this one totally original. This one's not, but if it was totally original, it'd be at $9,000. So,
No, I don't.
I mean, it's.
I don't know. I just
Well,
don't know.
well,
I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there like a band that's breaking through or something? And
mm-mm, mm-mm. No, I think it's just a combination of things because how many years have we been going on where most everybody's playing an FSO, a Fender shaped object? So
maybe.
they kind of step away for a minute and they try something else, and all of a sudden they go, "Oh, Rick."
But the
So,
thing is, if they're paying crazy prices second hand,
yep,
if suddenly the popularity drops away, you're not going to recoup that money, and there's
just
going to
like
be a lot of very disappointed people.
everything else.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
everything goes in phases because I mean, think about it. When the King actually picked up the JD again, what happened? The guys over there told me the orders went,
Exactly.
you
Yep.
know,
It hadn't
and
been as popular since 1987.
right. See, so because of that, they're under it now. They've got 5 years worth of back orders and stuff that they're fulfilling and all that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it goes in phases. A Fender will always be in, and sometimes people say, "I want to do something different," and they see one of these and go, "Hmm." And
Hmm.
so because of that, I don't know. I mean, Paul Gray was here with the Damned the other night,
Yeah.
and he and I had a good bosh. It was pretty fun. He was showing me everything and all that, and I mean, he's out there just banging away on them. So
Maybe it is the punk thing then.
yeah, yeah, I would.
Well, here's the thing. And I don't know. Maybe Gareth might be able to chime in here. Is
Okay.
there a certain element of Danny Sapko being seen all over YouTube videos with a Rick?
How about Scott's bass lessons as well? Because they had that one they were nattering on about. This is the perfect. Okay, well, for somebody, yeah. I mean, for someone
Maybe.
who's owned a ton of them, yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
they're not hen's teeth here. Let me just say that. Now,
No,
with
well, this is the thing. Rickenbacker never stopped producing,
right,
so there's never been that rarity factor. But
right,
like as you're saying, some of these things that you said to me about swapping a Rick for that JD at Bass Brothers, and it's like, why have suddenly 70s Ricks suddenly gone? Suddenly everyone wants them.
right. Well, think about this. Okay, let's paint a picture. So, in the late '60s, there were certain bands that used them. Everybody else had a Fender or
Hmm.
something.
Yeah.
Then you got into the '70s, and all the progressive bands had one because they wanted that thing. And then you got into the early '80s. So you had the punk overlay from the
Yeah.
progress, and then you had the new wave um, mixture of punk and all that. And those were showing up everywhere, even in the Duran Duran, Planet Earth video,
Mm.
all that. Uh, and then somewhere in the mid '80s, they went,
Yeah.
and nobody wanted them anymore because, oh, that's the progressive rock bass. Okay,
Well,
so
also people wanted active.
right. They wanted a Stingray. They wanted something with a little more zip.
Hmm.
And then in the '90s, they still just kind of laid low. There were people purchasing them, but they were laying kind of low. And the 2000s, then the late '90s into the 2000s, and trust me, I know. It seems like I know way too much about these things. They changed the body style in 1997, and then they've shifted it again. They changed the truss rods. They changed the neck construction. All the new ones are nothing like the ones I have sitting over here. Nothing. And I mean, I've played a few, and to me, I would rather just wait and sort an old one, even if I have to do some work, because they're not the same instrument. And again, you're looking at the crazy pink guy who's had now 180 of them a lifetime. Okay, I've had more than Geddy Lee and Chris Squire put
Yeah,
together, along with the
quite.
Ox. So um, there's just something to be said for, I guess, people are looking for that, whatever that thing is, because there's always a
Yeah,
trickle. There's always a trickle, but suddenly, everybody and their mum wants a Rick.
yeah. Gareth says could be an element of Danny Sapko and other social media influences.
Yep,
Could be,
could
could
be.
be. I don't know who. I mean, Scott's is the biggest, obviously. So if
Right.
they've been on there suddenly going, "Oh, you got to have a '60s or '70s Rick," then that'll do it. That'll push it.
Right. Well,
Um,
what's the prices on them fluctuate as well. They escalated. And then it was kind of like when we went to the guitar show some weeks back. If you think back, I showed you the double 25 grand.
yes,
There's a total made period of those of 500 quantity.
right.
You will not find one. If you do, there's your hen's teeth.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
we're that's it. That's it. The
Yeah.
rest of them you can shift them along. I can find them all day at various prices, but
Yeah.
because they're made here.
Richard, we're talking about status that he was looking at. Very true, RE, the circuit and pickups. I can't really tell the difference between board 302 on your Series 2 and board 303 on your 2021 Stealth 2. Those boards, probably it's going to be circuitry. It's going to be capacitors. It'll be transistors on the board in terms of the design. Let's have a look on the Status Graphite site, 'cause normally Rob's pretty good at saying what the differences are, or used to be. Online store. We want spare parts. We want. Oh goodness. Right, that's pots. Oh, they started selling out of all the circuits, have they?
Shocking.
Possibly. They used to have a ready supply
Mhm.
of the circuits for the different bases. Now it don't look like they have.
Hmm.
So if your status board goes, you're knackered.
Mhm.
There's nothing there to go through. See, this is the thing. There used to be. Oh, here we go. Active circuits. Sorry, I'm talking crap. Don't listen to me. What do I know? Right, 302 and a 303. Okay, it's not listing a 302, I don't think. Hold on, I'm scrolling through. There's no mention of a 302, but there is certainly the 303. This board had various improvements over the years, so it's an improvement. 301, 302, 303, but uses the same pot and switch positions as the original 300 board. Volume, pickup balance, treble cut boost, bass cut boost, variable frequency. Right, I am suggesting. So you've got a 302. I can't remember off the top of my head which board is in my empathy. I suspect it's a 302. I would suggest the 300 or the 301 was the original empathy board with the 3-band EQ, which was very top endy, lots of clattery. My empathy has got a later board, so it's either a 301 or a 302, and that's got far more bottom end mid boost, which is what happened in the mid 90s when Rob tweaked the board. So sorry, I've lost the thing. So 302, 303 will be the latest and most current version of that board. The Stealths didn't have a 3-band EQ though, Richard, did they? I thought the Stealths always had two, bass and treble, no mids. But I could be wrong. but whatever. The Stealth will have that latest board. So Beatles fans, yeah, all want to be Sir Paul. Maybe
That
he's been using it on his tour.
I think I've always seen the Hufner, but I mean, there's so many photos of him over the years with the thing going through different, stripping off the finish, doing the spray paint thing, carving out the wings and all that mess. Yeah, it is what.
Yes, exactly, Richard. Heavy and unwieldy. I've I never found them that heavy, but unwieldy. Yeah, there's a certain way of playing a Rick, and you either sort of fall straight into it, or you just go, ugh, don't like that.
Right.
I could take it or leave it. I wasn't one way or the other. If someone said there's a gig, you got to play a Rick, I was like, all right, I'll crack on with it. But I wouldn't want to have to be constantly setting it up and tweaking it, because that bridge just isn't going to do anyone any favors. Gareth Harrison, Wikipedia lists Stanley Clarke as a Rickenbacker bass player.
It's true. It's true. In the,
Really?
in the early days, I put it up there as a response to Gareth. In the early days, before the Alembic, he played a Model 4000, the one pickup.
Oh,
There's video.
okay.
There's videos of it with Return to Forever with Chick Corea.
Okay.
Yep, that's the one.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well done. There we are. There we are. Well,
Mhm.
now.
Yeah, see that because I was into them for so long, thanks to Masters Lee and Squire, um, and and I can't forget Mike Rutherford.
Yes.
Because if you think about it, when Steve Hackett was still a member of Genesis, he played a Ricky bass.
Of course. And a double neck. Excuse me.
Right, he had that one
And a
bass.
double neck.
That one bass got turned into a double neck, and then he had a Cher Gold and something else as well.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I know
I
we.
interviewed him just after Indy died, so that would have been April 2019. We're having a chat, and just out of the blue, I said, "What happened to your Alembics? What happened to the Alembic?" There was a TV thing that was done when they were recording "We Can't Dance," the album.
Mhm.
And there was a thing of them in the studio, and it was a gorgeous Series 2 there. And I said, why aren't all your Alembics? Why don't you ever use that? The bass you use live with Mike and the Mechanics is always that black Yamaha,
Mhm.
which goes back to 1990, TRB 4P, I think it is.
Sure.
And he said, someone walked off with my Alembics. He said,
Oh,
they were all in storage, and they've gone. He said, I've never seen them again. They just walked. So in a period of inactivity in the 90s, when Genesis weren't really doing much, someone went in and helped themselves to his Alembic Series 2s.
we called that illegal buffet. Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, surely you must have the serial numbers and stuff. If they ever turned up on the
It's,
open market, you'd grab them back, wouldn't you?
oh,
Uh,
definitely.
Gareth Harrison, that double neck I sent you was a bit of an oddball. Yes, it was. So Gareth sent me a picture of a status with a wooden body,
Mm.
and someone had decided to make it into a double neck.
Oh, I saw that. I saw.
Yes, so it was someone's bass and guitar, and
Right.
they sold it to someone in a Genesis tribute called Afterglow.
Yep.
Unfortunately, there are several Genesis tributes called Afterglow, and trying all of them to try and locate where this bass was, none of them, the emails were bouncing back. So this guy's after it, and it's going to cost him a pretty penny.
Sure of it.
Red status double neck.
Mm.
Although it wasn't, from the look of it, it wasn't made by Status as a double neck.
Mm-mm. I don't think so.
No.
No, I think somebody connected them together, just like Rutherford did with the Rick guitar and the bass.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So yes, good luck with finding that, sir. And
Here's
whoever's got it's probably not going to be too willing to give it up. But
Mm-mm.
also, if they know what they're doing, Status, semi-retired, you're going to pay a premium for it.
Indeed.
It's not going to be very cheap.
Oh, look at what.
So what's coming your way this week? What you got going on?
Our friend Marcus just sent me the link to Bass Direct with the short scale.
Ah.
Okay, let's see what we got. Let's see. So to answer your question,
It looked
um,
in good nick.
it appears to be in good nick on the pictures as well. Um, let me see. So I am awaiting a flight from Heathrow tonight, and he'll be arriving with his attitude, and we're going to spend some time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're going to do curry, of course, because it's a must.
Goes
Um,
out same.
indeed. So other than that, this week I've got a few things. I actually had that's really something with a short scale. The headstock's way large for a short scale.
Mm.
Um, yeah, so I did a session on Sunday. I've got a couple more which are going to be appearing along the week. So I have to kind of
Mm-hmm.
schedule, with a guest. I try to make the most of their time because they've come across, and so I'll do that, mix the songs in, do up a bit here and there. I just was sent some new stuff from a new band that is looking to
Okay.
go international. So I may be chiming in a few naughty bits on bass there, and
Excellent.
then try to just, if it's live date, it's live date as well. It's fine with me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Let's see, what is this? So the funny thing is, this thing is set up on here, but of course, there's no dosh on here. And that doesn't tell me how much they're asking for it.
Well, quick message to his nibs.
Oh yes, yes, of course.
He'll tell you.
Let's just see. Well, one
It's
word.
just an oddity. I can't remember them. I wouldn't know, but I can't. It's not something I see advertised that they do short scale. But
Right. Have you seen the series 4?
no.
Okay, I'll find a photo of one and I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Literally, a series 4 makes that look large.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah, it's a wee little bit.
Okay.
There's a guy in France who's got one that's you're gonna laugh, but it's a lilac purplish pinkish.
I
Um,
like that.
it's pretty cool actually. He wants 2 grand for it. It looks nice and everything. I know, actually, ironically, I know the history of it,
Yeah.
uh, because Mike Diggins made it for someone specifically, and then things changed, and they moved it
Mm.
on.
That short scale, is it a series 3?
It's a series 2
Oh, okay.
because it's got the funk groove inlaid before the pickups.
Sorry, I didn't. I was in such a rush on Saturday. It was like, oh, they had so much stuff in there. I was like a bit blinded.
No worries.
Uh,
No worries.
Richard, yours is a 3 band. Did you spec it that way, Richard? Or was it a bass that Rob Green built with a 3 band and then you bought it? Yes, they were 2 band as standard. That's what I thought. Because
Ooh,
I think they took the view that the natural stealths, both the 1 and the 2, had their own mid-range voice that they didn't need a mid-range EQ on it as well.
our little mug is excited again.
He's always he'd shout at Chris Packett being opened.
All right. Marcus
Been
says
at it all day.
2,600 pounds for that one.
600.
2,600.
Oh, two. Right. Okay.
Okay, I'm looking for a photo of the series 4 that I can send you real quickly. It's an interesting little bugger. Let's just say that.
Mm.
Here it is. Okay. Uh,
I don't know what he's shouting at. He can clearly hear something outside.
yes, indeed. Okay, so if you open your face space, I just
Ah,
I just tagged you in the photo, so you'd see it.
let's have a little look here.
Oh yes.
Ah,
How about that?
that's down at Sims. Yeah, nice. I have seen that actually. I think didn't he spray it?
Sims may have sprayed. He might have.
Yeah,
Possible. Very possible.
yeah, yeah.
Excuse-
Looks all right.
yeah,
Looks all right.
but it's a
Ish.
that's a wee little bit of kit right there.
So was it just volume and 2 volumes and tone?
I don't even know, because originally it started life as a single pickup,
Hmm.
and they added one and put something inside.
Okay.
But I know it's in France, I believe, right now. Or maybe not. Maybe just
Nice
a guy.
color.
Maybe just a guy who's French who's in the UK. I don't know.
Oh well.
Yeah. So, because naturally, because it's resembling a pinkishness, it was like first question to yours truly, right?
Of course. West Fork, good to see you. You are a bit late. That's okay. You've got 6 minutes.
Because
And then I'm out of here.
questions in to the king of bass,
That's
Michael.
it.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming in anyway. Much appreciated.
Yes, indeed.
Hope you're doing well with your king bass.
Ah, yes. Oh, and Westford, cheers for the follow on Instagram.
There you go.
There you go.
Reciprocation for the nation.
Mm-hmm. Every time.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's I going to say to you? That we still don't have a date yet. It's
We don't.
it's ongoing. Yeah.
I know. I'm just kind of waiting because I'm just waiting for her to pull the trigger so I can go, got it.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Westford, you're just back from a gig. Excellent. I hope it went well.
Well done.
No snap strings, I hope. No dead batteries. King bass is doing all right. Excellent.
Yes. Perfect. Perfect. So what's going to happen next couple of days is you're going to see this bloke from Wales. You're going to see a nice blue shiny attitude sitting over here next to the early pink one. And
is that an attitude 3?
Yes.
Or a 1?
3. It'll be the Daphne blue, Sonic blue.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Cool.
Uh-huh.
Is what's he coming over for? Is he on a holiday or?
He's on holiday. Yeah, he's on holiday. So, I've got some friends. I've got some friends with some great space, and they're going to put him up nicely. He's going to be fit for a king.
Ah, there we go.
Yes, indeed. So, and we're going to have a bass on, a little bit of a Bosch here and there, and then we're going to go. And then I'm going to show him around town and show him what the sights of Nashville are, aside from the pedal taverns with the scantily clad girls peddling their heart while they're drinking beer.
So, you do.
As they, cowboy boots, short shorts, and pedal yourself to death. Yes.
That's it. Come here, you. Come here. Turn around. That's it. Right. Come say hello to the world. Come say hello to the world. There he is.
There he is.
Saying hello. Oh, tar. Thank you. I know. All you want is your stick. That's right. Dentist stick time, isn't it? Yeah.
All right.
Are you all right? You had a nice day? Yeah. I know. And did you have a nice walk? This isn't a ventriloquist act, by the way.
Of course, yeah, right. I don't see.
Oh, you love your dad. Yeah.
So,
You're a good boy. Look.
Charlie.
You okay? Yeah. I know. And you need to go out too. Yes. Give me 3 minutes and I'll be there. That's it. Go keep yourself amused for 3 minutes and then I'll come and sort you out. 3 minutes.
There you go.
3 minutes. 3. Yeah. Good boy. Where's Ollie? Yes. All right. Thank you.
We're going to have a conversation now.
Kisses for dad. Exactly. Oh,
That's
3
right.
minutes, mate. 3 minutes. What was I going to say? I went through that Mr. Big box set as well yesterday.
Oh, yes.
And good Lord. I mean, it was immaculate.
Mm-hmm.
How someone had taken that out to record the CDs and what have you. And then they obviously, at some point, sort of shipped it on to the record store in Japan that I bought it from. How they got that box back in the cellophane, I couldn't tell you. I mean, they must have had a robot doing it because it took me about 25 minutes. I couldn't get the cellophane open and all the angles right to get the box back in. Anyway, we did eventually, but
oh yeah,
wow, what is in that box? Crazy stuff.
Oh yes.
There's like 3 or 4 books. There's tour itineraries, there's gig handbooks, there's 10 different tour passes, lanyards. Oh God, what else was in that other bit? Just loads, 20, things like that. There were turn it in. There were fabric patches and heavy duty plastic double-sided lanyards.
Yep.
20 CDs, 2 DVDs, a photo book, a
Nice.
complete listing of everything that's on the CDs with all the lyrics, unfortunately all in Japanese.
Ah, yes.
Just I mean, substantial bundle of stuff. I can't wait to get started on the CDs.
Yep.
But
Was an undertaking for sure. See,
seriously, I
these
did say
a close up, you can see where I got it.
that's not
Because
so long ago.
no, this was last January, last year, the 24.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
one, I forget. I think this one was in April of 24, I believe.
right.
So, these were for me.
Yeah. Did you
And
compare beard colours with Mike Portnoy?
his was blue at the time.
Yes. It's been blue the whole time I've followed the winery dogs, but
Well, it's a Men at Work song about being blue for you kind of thing.
yeah. West Fort. I just saw the Red Volcano finish on the JD Series 2 off Ollie. Looks killer and sounds killer. Yeah, very good. And he's got his amp working as well. He put a load of electrical connector spray.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to have solved it for the time being. I
Well,
still think he's gonna get it serviced, but
yeah, he was happy though. I can tell you, he was happy.
yeah, good
So yeah,
stuff. Right, I've got to wrap it all up because it's 10 o'clock. I've got to get to bed. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending this evening. Very much appreciated. Thank you for all the messages. Thank you for all the comments. Getting involved. Fabulous as always. Knew I can always count on you. Well done, sir. I'll see you. I'll speak to you anon.
it.
So that's all good. Have a good week. I'll see you all next Tuesday. Same time, same place. Video going up Thursday. I'll try and get another one up by Saturday if I can.
Perfect.
We've got gig vlogs, we've got reviews and demos and podcasts very shortly. I typed all my listing for our podcast, so that'll all be happening very shortly. Keep your eyes peeled. There'll be a Brooks's Bass Corner podcast. There'll be one with me and his nibs here. Very good. Right, on that note, everyone, have a great week. I will see you next Tuesday. Take it easy. I'll speak to you when I speak to you. And I'll see you next Tuesday. Take it easy. Have a great week. If you've got any gigs, drive safely. Be safe on the roads. There are idiots out there. Enjoy your bass playing. I'll see you next week. Take care.